What a splendid Friday. What a splendid Friday. I hope everyone's doing well out there today. Okay, today's video is about taxes. It's tax time. Lyft drivers, I'm going to tell you what they don't tell you. New and future Lyft drivers, please pay attention. All right. Everybody get to licking their chops and rubbing their hands when it's tax time in hopes that they will get some type of return, um, you know, for the hard work that they've put in throughout the year. Well, everybody is not going to get a return. Okay? In this video right here, I'm going to explain to you the things that you need to know and the shit that Lyft won't tell you, or these guys with these YouTube channels that said that they're making 100,000 and 200,000 for the year. I'm gonna show you what they won't tell you. I'm gonna break it down to you. Now, as a Lyft driver, the first thing you're gonna hear is, "Hey man, just write it off. Miles deductions, you know what I'm saying? Your lunch, your phone bill, your gas, all of that. You right? Write it off, right? Um, you'll get compensated for it, this, that, and the third." Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you a breakdown. Let's start with what you're going, the types of forms you're going to receive to file your taxes. Pay attention, new and future Lyft drivers. When you get a 1099, okay, if you make a certain amount of money, Lyft will send you a 1099 form. Okay? You're going to get two 1099 forms. One is going to be a 1099K. This is your earnings. This is the money that you've made for the year driving. And one is a 1099 NEC. Now, this is non-drivable funds. These are tips. So they send you a separate 1099 for your tips. But when you combine them together, it's your total earnings for the year. Excuse me. Now, if you haven't drove but a few months, then you will be able to log in to your Lyft driver's app, go into settings, and go in there and get your tax information. But I think Lyft won't send you a 1099 unless you've made 20,000 or something like that. All the rest of you all that haven't drove for that long and a couple of months or whatever, and part-time or whatever, you're going to have to log into your dashboard over at Lyft, and you're going to have to get your tax. It'll direct you where to pull your tax information from. Now, for those of you that get these 1099s because you've made a certain amount of money over the 20 or 20,000 or over, this is what you're going to run into. Now, Lyft, new and future Lyft Express program drivers, please pay attention because I'm going to go down through all of this. Now, if you're driving on the Lyft platform with your car, you're going to run into all now. The person that do your taxes, you're going to expect them to work some magic for you to get you a return back. And you're going to try to get them to find all types of deductions and come up with all kind of government what is it? Maybe some type of credits or whatever that you can add to your taxes because you're a gig worker, all types of stuff. Okay. You're gonna ask them to make sure they write off your miles, your lunch, your gas, your phone bill, all types of stuff, and in the hopes that you will get a tax return back. This is the biggest problem when you drive on the Lyft platform, that Lyft has these fees. And these fees are detriment to your taxes. Now, we're going to start with service fees. Service fees are the amount of money that Lyft keeps off of every trip that you take. So let's say you made $70,000 driving this year, right? Okay. When you look at the service fees, Lyft done took $29,000 in service fees. You made $70,000. Service fees done took $29,000 from you. Oh boy, it gets better. It gets better. You understand what I'm saying? Then you have platform fees. Now the platform fees is going to take a mean percentage as well. So they done already took $29,000 from you, because that's the money that they keep off of every trip that you make. You made 70, they're going to take about 29, maybe 29 or 32. Yeah, this is real. You made 70, they're going to take 29 to 32,000 from you in service fees. Okay? Now, them platform fees, that's because you're a driver on the platform. They're going to charge you a percentage too. Could be anywhere from 25 to 30% of your earnings. So you made 70,000. The service fees that took 29 to 32,000 from you. Then they're going to hit you with another 20 to 25 to 30% in platform fees. That's another couple $1,000 they done took from you. Then you have third-party fees. Now, the third-party fees are fees like airport fees, city and state government fees that Lyft is going to charge you because you're an independent contractor, and they're going to charge Lyft, and Lyft is going to charge you. And they're going to take it from you out your earnings. Oh, yeah. All these fees. And there might be some more shit that they hide that they don't tell you. But I'm telling you about what I know. Now, when it comes to mileage deduction, you hear all these gurus, all these people that's supposed to be tax experts, of gig workers that, hey, man, I got $7,000 back. All you got to do is do this and do that and twist this around and turn that around and this, that, and the third. Now you ask yourself, why in the hell do you got to do all that just to get a tax return back? Why in the hell do you got to find all of these deductions? And why in the hell do you got to look for all these credits and shit that may assist you in getting a tax return back? Huh? It because Lyft taking all your money. You got to remember, as a driver, if you're out there driving every day and you're making, well, no matter when you're driving, but if you're out there and you're making 60 cents per mile driving in your city or your state, every trip you make, Lyft is taking down there 70% of your earnings. You don't know what they're charging these people on the other end. They have upfront price and they show you what they're going to pay you for the trip. What they charge that person on the other end, you don't know nothing about it. Okay. Then someone will say, hey, man, well, you can just open up the app And you can go in there and see the breakdown. They're showing you what they're reporting. The drivers don't benefit from the surge or the driver shortage fees that they're charging at all. When it comes down to the taxes as a Lyft driver, you all got to be careful about the stuff that you're writing off. All of these people that's telling you, hey, well, I don't know what's wrong with you and your taxes because I got 3, 4,000 or 5,000 now, this, that, and third. Listen, everybody's city and state is different. The law, the taxes, and the city fees and all that stuff is totally different from the NICs. Okay? What you got to do is focus on your taxes and make sure you don't get audited. Because if you go in and looking for all these write-offs and all these government credits and boosting up your mileage and your lunch and your things of that nature, you're gonna fucking around and get audited. And then you're gonna be in a world of trouble then for real. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Now, with the mileage, this is the discrepancy in the miles. And I'm going to tell you why it's a discrepancy in the miles deduction. Because the IRS is only going to pay you for the cents per mile that you're going to make from the point of pickup to the point of drop-off. When you're driving back from them drop-offs, they're not going to pay you for that. That's like Lyft. Lyft only pays you cents per mile the moment you pick the person up and drop the person off. When you coming back from that trip, you're not going to get a dime. So the miles that you all are reporting are the miles that you're driving in a day. You're going to have to cut that miles in half. The IRS is going to cut that miles in half. So no matter what deduction that you find, the miles is going to get you either way you look at it. Because the IRS knows that you only get paid from the point of pickup to the point of drop off. So if you got to drive a person 25 miles, if the trip that you pick, if you're picking a person up that's going 25 miles away from where you picked them up from, okay, and you're getting 60 cents per mile, okay, that trip might pay you about $16, $17. You might even get 19. You drive that person 25 miles, drop them off. You got to turn around and drive 25 miles back to get back. You done burned up all the money in gas. You're at a loss. That 25 miles that you put on your car that day, you won't get paid for it. Because you only get paid from the point of pickup to the point of drop off. So when you reporting your miles, the IRS is only going to cut your miles in half. Because they're not going to pay you for the miles that you got to drive back. They're only going to pay you for the miles when you pick a person up and drop a person off. The rest of the miles you're not going to get paid for, so you can boost up all the miles that you want. You can report all the miles that you want. The IRS know how to break. They got software. They know how to break the miles down. You can add all the lunch and gas and all of that stuff that you want. The IRS know how to break that stuff down. Do not get audited trying to find every deduction that you can find in order to get your tax return back. Most people just even out. Don't even get a tax return. They're lucky if they get a couple of $100. Because when you're driving on the Lyft platform, it actually doesn't benefit you as an independent contractor. Now, If you set it up as a business, then and you file as a business, probably there might be some breaks in there that may help you up to a certain amount of money that you're gonna make per year or whatever. But that's gonna be tricky too. You know what I'm saying? These YouTube channels where these guys are saying, "Hey, I made 150,000 this year driving. Hey, I made 200,000. Hey, make 200,000 a year driving on the Lyft platform." They tell you everything about how much money that you should be making every week in order to make 150, 200,000. They also go into how many hours a day you should be driving and that you should not be turning down any trips. But they do not tell you anything about the service fees, the platform fees, nor do they mention the third party fees. See, if they tell you all this, then they feel they're going to scare you away from their video. They got to keep you engaged in their content by making you believe that you can make the money that doctors earn or people with high paying jobs earn. Man, when Lyft reports your earnings, let's say if you made 70,000 for the year, Lyft gonna report that you made 70,000. But that 29 or 32,000 that they took from you, they don't say nothing about that. Technically, if they took 29 or 32,000 from you, they supposed to report the remainder of the 70,000. But they report that you made 70,000 on the platform driving. And the 29 or 32,000 that they might keep in service fees and the extra money from the platform fees and the third party fees and whatever else they may charge, the IRS don't know. The IRS knows that they're getting some fees. But what I'm saying is they're reporting that you're making 70,000. But the service fees and all that stuff that they're keeping, you still got to pay taxes on 70,000. Why you got to pay taxes for something they taking from you? You should be paying taxes on the amount of money after they deduct the 29 or 32,000. So it's the structure of this business. It's the way it goes. Now, for Lyft Express program drivers, this is what you are going to face. You're going to face all of these fees, the service fees. You're going to be making less cents per mile driving. Some of you all are going to be driving for 25 to 40 cents per mile. A lot of you all are going to be driving 10 to 12 hours a day. A lot of you all are going to make 100,000. But when you look at your 1099K, that 1099K is going to say you made 100,000 driving 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week in the Lyft Express Drive program. Lyft going to take 69,000 of that. Because you're making so little cents per mile because you're driving in the Lyft Express Drive program. In that program, they diminish the cents per mile because you're in that program. So if that base rate in your area is 80 cents per mile, then you join the Lyft Express Drive program, they're only going to pay you about 35 to 40 cents per mile. That's a whole bunch of money that they keep per mile. And you get out there as a Lyft, and then this is what else is going to be on your 1099K. More deductions. So you done made 100,000. They took 69 in service fees. This is the money that they keep off of every trip that you make because you're getting paid so less cents per mile because you're in that program. Then, okay, they're going to deduct all of those fees, the service fees, the platform fees, third party fees from your earnings. Then they're going to deduct. Then you got to remember, out of the money that you have left, the weekly rental rate is going to come out of that. So that might be another $15,000 if you've drove all year. Then you got to deduct your gas from that. Man, that's going to leave you with crumbs. You can say whatever you want to say, but when them people do your taxes, they're going to laugh at you. Because they're going to say, because when I got my taxes done, that man said, what the hell? He said, bro, how in the world did you drive in this program this long? I was embarrassed. You understand? The man turned over every rock he could to try to get me a refund. But they're trying to even out all of the deductions so that you won't have to pay back. Because when you're in that Lyft Express Drive program, if the person don't do your taxes right, you're going to wind up having to pay something back. The goal in the Lyft Express Drive program is to try to even out the deductions so that you won't have to pay any money. And then potentially you might get a couple $100 here and there, maybe even $1,000. But when you're in that Lyft Express Drive program, man, you got your back against the wall in all kinds of ways. I just wanted to leave this video today about these taxes so you new and future Lyft drivers and you new and future Lyft Express program drivers can understand what the taxes going to consist of and what they're not going to tell you. What these YouTube channels that's saying that you can make $150,000 to $200,000 a year driving won't tell you. I'm going to tell you over here on my channel at Rideshare RealTalk. Now, to all of you all that haven't subscribed to my channel, I would like to ask you to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can stay in the loop for my latest videos and my live when I go live again. I would like to say to find somebody to love today, even if you don't see eye to eye with them, it'll make you feel better. I would like to say that I fully support the striking and protesting efforts of Lyft and Uber drivers and gig workers from city to city and state to state. I fully commend you all for your unselfish approach to fight for change. Hey, even if we don't get any change, I stand with you 100% anyway. I would like to say that I love everyone out there, and I hope everyone out there loves me back. The differences in our opinions, I hope it don't change the love that we have for one another. Hey, we can agree to disagree, but we can still love one another. All right? Until my next video, let's get this bread, baby.